All right, looks like we are live and on the air, both on Twitch and YouTube today. Great job, Twitch, for fixing whatever weird Twitch you had yesterday. So anyway, welcome to the Foolish Tech Show. It is a lovely Thursday afternoon, and we are here primarily to provide support and answer any questions about our products and services. If you have any of those, you can jump over to our IRC chat and talk to us directly. We have a couple ways you can get to it at foolishtechshow.com, and we'll be more than happy to talk with you directly there. So how's everything else going today?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Doing okay.
Well,
Cool. So we got anything on the slate today? Anybody want to talk about it?
Yeah, so I found a small issue under XP, a regression that I had under XP for Quick Hash. I've resolved it though, and I hope maybe we can have a quick update to that put out either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. And anything else? No? Good. So sad and unfortunate event happened this morning, and hearts go out to New Jerseyans in Hoboken. Is there a Hoboken in every state? Because I know there's one in North Carolina. But a
Hoboken, New Jersey, I believe is how most people say. But
yeah. Oh yeah, maybe Hoboken is different.
It might be an actually completely different thing. But
anyway, so a train derailed and crashed into the platform this morning. 74 injured and 3 in critical condition. Oh, sorry.
There's 3 fatalities.
Yeah, there's it says correction at 12:03 p.m. We previously cited NBC News, which reported that 3 people had been confirmed dead. So maybe there's still questions about that. Anyway, terrible thing to happen, and not something you expect from trains today. There's supposed to be a lot of safeguards and things like that, but this is one of those situations where wrong things happened at the right time, I guess, because the fail-safes they have in place for those like dead man switch and auto stopping and auto braking did not prevent this. So I guess they'll be looking more into that kind of thing in the future, but hopefully none of our Futures Tech crew was around there.
Yeah, sure hope not.
And I thought this article was interesting. So apparently, oh, nope, Futures Tech crew said nope. Awesome. Thanks,
Cool.
Court. It's good for good.
ooh, collective sigh of relief there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely good. So I thought this was an interesting article as well. A doctor in Chicago was busted for making his own vaccines, and he was using cat saliva and vodka.
Sounds like a good combination.
That's the preferred method.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem terribly.
The fact that he was able to do this, though, kind of makes me understand a little bit more about the people and vaccination stuff. Like, I mean, how do you know what your doctor is giving you is an actual vaccine? Because this guy was giving out cat saliva and vodka. If you feel a little bit tipsy after your flu shot, you might want to go get a second opinion. Well, on from less worrisome news, if you ever wanted to know how many stick shift gear changes were done in every single Fast and the Furious movie, you can now watch an entire supercut of it. And
But it's a long cut.
Yeah, yeah. The GIF on there has like 15 different stick shifts, and they're like, by the way, this is just 1/4 mile drag race. It's not even from an entire movie. So there's quite a few of them. I did not watch the whole thing, so let me know what you think if they missed a gear shift or something like that. I can't imagine someone sitting there and editing. They have 6 movies now, right? Yeah, 6 movies, and someone sat there and watched and edited out the gear shifting clips of each one. That's insane.
Just reminds me of the dummy reel in Sanford and Son.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody sat there and edited out that from every episode of Sanford and Son.
Well, not there, obviously.
Oh,
No, it was only 5 minutes. They would have done like a year long if they'd have done that.
yeah. Well, I'm sure he probably repeated some same style and vocals.
Actually, no, they were all fairly unique. That was, I think, the. Never mind. Should get a link.
We'll go and somebody else should do that. Go through all the Sanford and Sons. So I thought this was an interesting article, and I'm giving you the Slashdot version because there's a couple articles linked off of it. But apparently Amazon is looking at ditching UPS and FedEx and setting up its own delivery service. And I can kind of feel that route has been coming for a long time. What's interesting to note, though,
the minute they talked about drones and the minute they started to have their own shipping,
airplanes and stuff,
airplanes, boats, everything, yeah.
But what's interesting about it is it's not going to be just you buy something from Amazon and you get this delivery service. They're talking about it like it's going to be a competitor to FedEx and UPS, possibly.
Well, if you're going to set up that big of an operation, why not sell it to other people too, other than just utilize it for yourself?
Yeah. So, and they're even talking about like going direct from seller to customer. So, like if you sell something on Amazon, usually the person has to go from their house to the post office or UPS or FedEx and drop it off, and then the shipping takes over and goes out for you, whereas Amazon could be coming directly to their door and picking it up right from there and taking it out. But I can kind of see that wanting to have control over shipping methods is definitely a big crucial thing. They're saying it's going to help out a lot with the busy holiday seasons where FedEx and UPS can get bogged down. I'm wondering though if they're going to have any growing pains off of that, or if they've learned enough from those two to be able to handle the Christmas holiday rush, not just Christmas. Yeah, and Quark says, hey, maybe now Amazon will actually make money. I kind of feel like they've been making money doing what they do. But that's what Joe Chamberlain points out. I feel like that's more of their reason, is they're getting upset of having to deal with FedEx and UPS, where packages may show up damaged or opened, like Joe has experienced with both of the shipping companies, FedEx and UPS, in the past.
I think they're probably trying to just lower their shipping costs so that they cost less for the customer to receive the product. So they can charge less for shipping.
From what they say on that article stuff is, right now they spend about $11.5 billion on shipping, and it's about 10.8% of their sales. Going with their own could save them about $3 per package, or about $1.1 billion a year. But I feel like it's that they're going to do well in that market. I feel, because I feel like the way they handle, especially like the way they changed retailing in general, is far better than any other online retailer, which is why I think there was a thing that 56%
How
of
much?
online shoppers start off with Amazon to start searching.
You saw 56? I thought the number was higher. I thought it was.
It may have been higher, but it's over half.
Well, normally when any business tries to go into an area that it's not its specialty, they normally have difficulties. But I think if anybody can pull it off, pull this particular thing off, it's probably going to be Amazon because they already have large distribution centers, which you'll need for to do the shipping. So I think if anybody can do it, I think they'll probably do a good job of making that transition.
Well, and if you notice, most of the time, a lot of your packages start off at an Amazon facility and then get sent to another Amazon facility, and then they get their way to the UPS or USPS or FedEx. And I'm sure they would still utilize UPS, USPS, so the postal service. They would still utilize that the same way FedEx and UPS do right now, where they send little things out and through regular postal service mail, and that'll also kind of booster the USPS so that they can stay in business.
Oh, you heard all that. I'm so sorry.
Yep. We've just started ignoring
We
you.
always do.
So interesting. We'll see where that comes of. I'm sure it's not going to make it out for this holiday season, but I'm sure they're right and ready to. So. Well, other news, there was good news for Michael out there. Michael, did you hear what the FDA did?
No, I didn't catch that. What's up?
So they approved the first automated insulin system for
yes,
type 1 diabetes.
I thought it was just today, but no, that was I heard that a day or two ago. Yeah, it was that's good. The only thing is it's not nearly as compact as I would have imagined for 2016. Did you see any pictures of it?
I saw that link I have has one picture on it, but
Let me check that out. Maybe I didn't read the same thing. Actually, it might have been a slightly different story.
Yeah, Quark. They do make quite a bit of money, and they in turn invest it into other items. So.
Well, it does look more modern, but it doesn't look smaller than my current one. And the sensor, the constant glucose monitor sensor, is basically exactly the same as the one I have now. So what they've basically done is allowed them to automate it, what was already there. This isn't really like a new technology that the technology existed. It's just they weren't allowed to fully automate it before, I think is what the deal is with this stuff. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I am very glad though to hear it. It is very good news because it's just been proven the pump can manage the blood sugar better than the humans can. We're just a little bit too fallible and we make mistakes.
Here you go. Gizmodo has a good picture of it in use.
I think the we you're referring to is not the human race as a whole, Michael, but your kind.
Yeah. I don't.
Just saying.
Yeah. So this is basically right here. This picture, this Gizmodo picture, is basically what I do on a regular basis.
Yeah, but you got a whole fanny pack, so I'm not seeing how.
Well, that's the thing. I just put that little thing instead of that clip on the belt. I just put that in the fanny pack, which I just happen to have already. I just been using for a long time. It's I could clip it in a similar manner. There's a clip I believe that I can attach to the back of my thing. I just don't use it. But yeah.
So you just used the fanny pack because you had already used the fanny pack, and now you don't want to be called out for just being a fanny pack user, but you're like, oh, I need it for my health.
Exactly.
Michael's a fanny pack fan. If anyone out there wants to get him something for Christmas, get him a new fanny pack. He would like one of all the different colors of the rainbow. So Gregory S has a D72 thing. D72 was up for renewal and missed that due to a card I had eliminated. Do I need to get that up and running again? Also haven't been able to join the chat or watch the videos. What is the status of D7X, please? Thanks. So Gregory S, for that, you would just need to sign up for a new subscription again and let us know if you're using a different email address that you weren't using before, or
if your information has changed, just so we can locate your old account, and we'll combine everything to basically make it so that you can continue to use your old credentials and your old D72 setup exactly as it currently is. It will just we'll just kind of carry over. You will get some credentials automatically generated for you, but in the email that we will respond to you confirming your registration, we'll instruct you that you can ignore those.
Correct.
From at least D72. Yeah.
So just sign up again, and you'll get a few emails that you can basically ignore. And I would probably just send us an email back, just letting us know, hey, you're coming back and signing up again. And if you give us your original dCloud username, that'll make it easy for us to track down and set you all right back up again. You can end up using the exact same setup before, and just keep going like nothing happened. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's good on that side. As for the D7X, Nick has been furiously coding on it, and
slow down. When can we, before you just get into that real quick? So, you know what? I was taking it for granted, Gregory. If you had PayPal, those instructions apply. We can reinstate your existing subscription with our new payment system if you were on that already. Either way, we can let's see. We can send him. I believe we'll send him a link to get that information updated. Proactively do that.
That's correct.
So
yeah.
maybe the best option would be to email us first, and then we'll look at your account status and then tell you the best way to go from there.
Yeah.
That would probably be the best option. So yeah. Beavis for Prez, I just noticed that. So yeah, Gregory, yes, send us an email at support@foolishit.com, sales@foolishit.com, whichever one you want to choose there, and let us know. You can even mention that you talked to us in the chat, and we'll be able to pick it right up. And if you give us your dCloud username, we can give you get you set up and back up and running quickly. So. Cool deal. Now for the D7X stuff, Nick has been feverishly working on the code for that, and he's actually just finished, and we're in the process of testing the filter module for CryptoPrevent is now based on D7X technology. So
all the code really, except for the user interface, of course.
What?
The D7X code, you said technology is sort of a tagline or something, but it's the actual code.
Yeah, okay. It's based on D7X code, which is also the technology.
But at any rate, yeah,
for the filter modules.
We're starting into that, finishing touches now. That was one of the last pieces there to that, and we just have a couple of build out things with the bulk right, and then we'll be ready to release.
You're talking about CryptoPrevent, Michael, but we were talking about the D7X stuff. So.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, he's working on the D7X code, and that code just got implemented into the CryptoPrevent filter module. So that's going to be coming out with version 8, and we're actually doing some testing on it internally right now ourselves, and everything is looking amazingly well with that. So we're very excited about that, and he'll be able to continue getting back to the D7X focus after this now. And yeah, so I think that answers all of that one. Futures Tech Eric, I do believe robots are superior to humans in certain categories. And I believe really it's going to be more AI is superior to humans, not just robots in general. The robots we have right now are pretty dumb. Joe Chamberlain asks, what are the perks of going to CryptoPrevent 8? And
Ooh, there's a
The biggest one is probably the honeypot feature for folder watch is going to be a huge one. That is going to be a premium only access. The folder watch itself is coming, and that's going to be included in our free stuff, as well as our ability to customize it if you have the premium version. You get the updated, new and improved filter module, and we've redone all of the SRPs. The entire code base actually has been completely redone from the ground up.
So tons of additional protections in there.
Yeah,
Also, regarding the filter module, a long-standing bug with Microsoft's click-to-run applications, we've corrected all of that. So we're hoping that that can be used now in version 8 in a lot more scenarios than it could have been used before, making it a lot more compatible. So.
Yeah.
Also greatly improved the run and wait and process detection code and all of these things that will make up the D7X custom app system, which is integral to this. So that was actually a great improvement for all.
And you said that the run code that you're using there can also be used in Kill 'Em All too, right?
Yeah, I'll be updating the Kill 'Em All, which was based on the D7X code when it was released. It hasn't been updated to the newer code, and I'll be updating that, and that'll that up too.
And see, this is kind of what we were talking about. The stuff that he's been working on has been integral to a lot of our products going forward, and it's going to easily be able to access different features and things going around back and forth.
It's going to be super awesome. I can just drop this code into darn near anything.
Yeah, so that's
so
what we're.
So D7X isn't just a product; it is a framework. For
it's a platform.
Yeah, it's a platform
for other software that we would build. Yeah.
Yes, and
T-shirt.
What's that?
I said, is that a...
This is not. This is a Bonnaroo staff T-shirt. I guess it could. I mean, technically, it was camping and it was summer, so it could be a summer camp thing. But if you don't know what Bonnaroo is, you probably want to look that up online. So it used to be a really fun place. Now it's a little bit commercialized, and they had someone die this year. That was terrible. Like someone just wandered out into the middle of the highway. Apparently they were on drugs.
You're on drugs.
Yeah, but yeah, having your friend walk out into the middle of the highway at a concert, it's not what you expected from that.
They should have been looking out for him, but anyway.
Somebody should have, yes. Anyway.
Supposed to have security and people like you who have worked there before to assist when.
I mean, but that's one of the biggest issues is you can't actually rely on security and staff members, because I was a volunteer, so there's a lot less that I can do than even a security officer can do. And even with security and stuff, like if someone wants to leave, you can't keep them in. So that could basically have been what happened. If this person was all messed up on drugs and they wanted to leave, there's not going to be any security stopping them. You should be relying on your friends to protect you at a.
And I mean,
ultimately, you're responsible for yourself, and if you do something stupid things sometimes happen.
Yeah, but I just know from practice, kids tend to be stupid, and
Michael wants one security guard for every person at a concert.
Well, that would be ideal, but
it's still you have to take it into the other side of things, is that they don't want to get sued, so they only have so far that they can go. Like they're not going to tackle someone and stop them from doing something or force someone to go to the medical center.
Not to mention, once you leave, you've left.
Yeah, so it's slightly. Partially, I would blame society for it as well, because of that fact, it's more difficult for places like that to help. But I kind of a lot of it, there was a whole lot of stuff online about it in Facebook and rants and all kinds of things. And I honestly say it falls back on the community, the crowd that's there. Like, those are the people that actually have the most power to help and prevent those kind of things. So they really failed them at that point. And that was really the whole idea behind Bonnaroo. It's supposed to be a big family of everyone's loving.
And like a big family, there was probably a whole bunch of people standing around going, "Look at this guy."
Yeah. Not when he made it to the highway, but prior to that, there were probably a lot of people that pointed and laughed and stuff. So,
Luckily, I always had great friends around to help me when I was doing stupid things.
yes.
Yes, never encouraged bad.
So at least you got pictures, is what I understand.
Yeah, that's
We do. We do.
So, moving on from that, looks like there is a new ransomware on the block.
You be quiet, Beavis.
There's a new ransomware on the block, the Princess Locker ransomware. This one demands a extreme amount of ransom. 3 Bitcoins are about $1,800 at current pricing. If you don't make a payment within the specified time frame, then the payment doubles to 6 Bitcoins at that point. So that's pretty crazy.
It's called extortion.
Anything others on this? Michael, it's funny that you say that. I have another link that I want to talk about after that. Not too much of a big difference here. It looks like pretty much everything else is kind of similar and same for that. So it's just, yeah, they're basically, yeah, requesting huge sums of money to get your stuff back. But apparently California has a way to correct all of this, as California always does. So when California is afraid of something, what do? They make a law for it. So now ransomware attacks in California are considered extortion and prosecutable by an extortion law.
Okay, who are they ever going to catch? Okay, a state law, a single state law. How is that going to impact the global ransomware scene?
Exactly.
Well, I would think that they could be considered extortion under just the basic definition of the word extortion.
Yes.
I'm not so sure that wasn't there already?
That's a lawmaker thing. See,
Yeah.
We like lawmakers and we like to hire more of them.
Somebody won an election on that one.
Yeah.
So essentially what I feel happened is the population was like, what are we going to do about ransomware? And they were like, we're going to make it illegal.
Yep, that'll fix it.
All right. Well, congratulations. I think in that article it even talked about there's someone keeping a track of all the hacking related crimes on the list, which that kind of might actually be a little bit more interesting to look into. But on that list, no one has been prosecuted for ransomware, apparently, from what I was understanding or quickly reading. So it's like, not only is it, A, you have to be in California distributing the ransomware to someone else in California, but B, no one's ever been caught for it anyway because of how difficult it is to trace it back and track someone down to a specific thing. I mean, they're using Bitcoin, which already makes it hard enough to
typically Tor on the back end too.
And they're going through Tor and things like that. It's not like the Silk Road where the fool is making millions of dollars and living in Southern California, running Silk Road.
I mean, it's possible the law could be effectively used if there is just some crazy person who decides to want to set up their organization in the one state that has the law against it. But
and the first or second sentence in this was hacking someone's computer is already a federal crime. So
there's tons of other crimes with probably higher penalties actually that already exist on a federal level. but you know, yeah, that's I think that's politics. I think Nick's right about that. That's just a lawmaker who got elected off of somebody who having a population that was hit by ransomware. You know, oh, so his friends all got hit by ransomware. They came up to him and said, "Oh, ransomware is horrible. Oh, we should pass a law."
Yeah, so I guess that's what lawmakers do best, is make laws, even if they are made for no reason. Beavis for Prez. Yeah. Or next thing you know, they'll make plastic illegal because it supposedly causes cancer to pregnant people or something.
I thought they did that.
I know that was.
Oh no, they have to have the warning label thing on.
Oh, they just. I thought it was illegal, but yeah, maybe it is. They just have to have.
I don't know. Maybe certain kinds of it. Well, you know, they have the warning label tags on things like your mouse cord. You know, well, not like you have a mouse cord anymore, but you know, all of the cables and things that we use and deal with and touch on a daily basis can cause cancer, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
California is a cancer. Forget causing it.
I don't. I mean, just because somebody happens to live in California, it doesn't mean.
Well, I'm not.
The same way
You know,
that sometimes their
it's
politicians do, but I don't know. I wouldn't just together.
All right, well, let's redirect our.
We love all of our customers out in California, by the way.
Except the lawmakers that make stupid laws. I'm serious. That's what I'm talking people.
Future Stack Eric. So let's redirect our focus a little bit here, and let's yell at HP for a minute here. So they came out with a firmware update for their printers that blocked third-party cartridges.
Yet another one, but this one was specifically, I believe, for the OfficeJet Pro, the Pro line. I don't know if that made a bigger deal with some people because businesses were potentially using it. Yeah, versus their home printers. They've done it in their home printers for quite some time. And for instance, my dad has had your printer, your cartridge is low warning for 2 years going off and still shooting out pages just fine. You know, it's just kind of shocking how horrible they are with those things, and people have really just taken notice. Like, this is not fair. This is not reasonable. This is just artificially done to make us buy more ink. And yeah,
it's kind of like if they made it so that when you bought a razor blade, you could only use it for one shave. And then they're like, nope, it's not good anymore. You can't use that razor blade anymore.
I don't know if that's the best analogy. It
is, because you could use that razor blade several more times after there. Same way you could use that ink cartridge several more times.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm getting you now.
Because that's the biggest thing about that. But yeah, it is because HP loves that money. They want to block third-party ink cartridges now that probably wouldn't have their security thing in them to make you buy more ink. So
yeah, and of course they labeled it a security chip. Oh, I want my device to be secure, and they put it out as a security update to the firmware. Everybody, obviously, with the concern about the Internet of Things and devices that are online and connected, potentially being hacked or infiltrated. So of course people are going to run out and do that. Or what do you do then? Have them question every update that comes along? Are they going to reduce my feature set? Or are they just doing this to? So then they're going to be skeptical of all security updates, even the ones that would legitimately protect them. So they're setting a horrible, horrible precedent in the method of delivery of this type of thing. And you know, previously they just did it through software, and now they're doing it more and more through hardware. It's the AFF has banded together and gotten signatures. I recommend people sign up for that. If you've ever had an HP printer, I'm pretty sure you can agree with everything we're talking about here in the past. And this is, and I'm talking about a laser printer, honestly, from HP. Okay, in my father's case, in the case here, we may be talking about ink, but that is even more potentially because ink prices generally far more expensive than laser toner. But they're doing it on all across the board with their products. So, and it doesn't matter if it's.
And I would go on to say it's not just HP.
No,
It's just HP that's being called out for it.
They're the
Currently.
biggest ones, but it'll set a precedent certainly if it's effective against them. You know?
Well, they've already started that with a lot of places. Like my thing has been telling me I've been low on black ink for months now as well, and still prints out black ink pages just fine.
I am shocked though at 2 years, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't witness it on a daily basis.
You said that was toner, right? Not ink.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct. Now, you know, obviously it depends on how much my dad is using it, and he may not be using it to the level that some offices might use their office printers. But either way, that means it's even worse for them because they're going to hit it a lot earlier.
Eric, go ahead.
My Oki data printer was reporting 3 or 4 years ago was reporting that the drums needed to be replaced. So I just reset the counter manually, and it's still working just fine without replacing the drums.
Nice.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point where they even relatively bad manufacturing, we're able to now automate so much stuff that the products are generally pretty solid. They have to actually now build in failure to their systems, I believe.
Yeah.
That's just a theory. I don't know where I got that from, but whatever.
So Eric, you'd mentioned a monthly annual renew magazine subscription for the elderly. Do you have a link or something talking more about that? I haven't heard of that before. But it sounds like a ripoff. Yeah, monthly annual renewal, or a monthly annual renewal for a magazine subscription. Sounds a little bit off. Like every month they're asking you to renew for the year. But I'd be interested in looking at that.
If that's an actual scam in their area or even broader in a nation or international level, yeah, that's scary. And I really hate the ones that target the elderly. These are our grandmothers and grandfathers, our mothers, our fathers, and most of them are past retirement age, and they just have a few years left. And to do that to them is, I don't know, is I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself.
You were up for so long, Futures Tech Eric. You could have taken advantage of it.
I
could have said our thing, our chat title.
The question would be, would you do that to your mother? And maybe these bad guys would. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably would. So moving on from that, so his grandmother got that. Sorry, Beavis. I know what would happen if I give you op status. It wouldn't go unnoticed. So, I thought this was really interesting. So apparently, they've programmed a Doom bot that is better at playing Doom than humans even. So if you ever have to go up against this Doom bot in a multiplayer Doom game somewhere out there, you're gonna get beat bad apparently. That's thanks to 2 Carnegie Mellon University students, the ultimate killing machine.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But it's there's big advancements in AI, and that's what this is all this type of stuff is forms of AI.
Yeah, did you hear about the coalition?
The coalition.
Yeah, like all the major places have joined together in a big AI.
Yeah. Was it IBM and Google and
Amazon and everything?
Yeah. All of them. Yeah, I think I did hear mention of that. So that's why that story's probably circulating as well, because all that's been in the news too recently. Awesome. I mean, I don't want to focus on that one kill thing, but the AI can be used in a lot of other areas. For instance, Microsoft. Well, it's not really AI, I guess. In a way, it is maybe. Nvidia put out a new for cars, basically.
Real quick, that CNN link has a autoplay video because they hate the internet.
So let me see if I can get the let me get you a link on what Nvidia just released. They have this great and it's for cars, and it's got this amazing video processing stuff for the cameras and for recording and for sensor and maybe some AI related. I mean, it's a lot of computing power, or I would think, for a vehicle that more than a vehicle would need. But maybe I'm a little bit out of touch in what type of computing power modern vehicles actually require. But video, as usual, is throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at it. I'm gonna find you guys a link to that. Here we go. So this is unfortunately just Nvidia's direct announcement of it, but it's called Xavier. It's designed for use in self-driving cars.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, self-driving cars. So I guess the self-driving, I guess that requires a lot of AI processing. So
wasn't that awesome Nintendo game?
Xavier?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never played a game called Xavier. I know it's a person's name. I know it. It's an old name.
Come on, where's a good picture of it?
So this is what I wanted to ask you something about this, since we've talked about it on the show just briefly a little bit. But No Man's Sky. So what do you think about apparently the UK investigating them for potential false advertising with the way, because they're pointing to some trailers and things for it that showed what might have appeared to be a different style of gameplay than is predominant within the game. And that's where they're making the false advertising claims on. And if you want the story to that, it's here on Engadget. You didn't already talk about it, did you?
No.
Now that's in the UK, I believe. Like I said, so take it as you will. And you I think still like the game. And I actually saw an interesting analysis of the game that says they should incorporate photography more within the game, similar to how Nintendo did with the Pokemon game that they did, where people could take shots of Pokemon Goes and Pokemon's. I guess I don't know. I don't play the game, but at any rate, they said the scenery was so beautiful within the game that they should encourage the users to sit and and look around more, whereas people get distracted by a lot of the maybe.
Well, that's what I feel.
Survivals and minutia and upgrades.
People are all looking for something to yell at, and they I don't know. They're not enjoying the game like it. I enjoy the game still, so I think all their computer issues on the PC rollout was, I think, more issues with people and their computers. I didn't have any issues with setting it up on my computer. First off,
I agree with you. I think they're being a little bit hard on it for something.
The game itself is interesting for what it does, for what it's there.
But could this be a case of jealousy, do you think, Brantley, where they're jealous of what they've accomplished and maybe wish that they had gotten there first, because it doesn't seem maybe all that complicated to do?
I don't think it's that. I think it's just a big mob of people that were overhyped about a product coming out, and it didn't meet their overhyped expectations. So
yeah, some balance of that, but I think they're being.
If you hype something up that much, there's no way that it's going to meet what people expect. So
yeah.
Yes, No Man's Sky. Yeah, and there were other things like the performance stuff and like the videos they came out with. You're never gonna get that kind of performance off there, and yeah, that it is about false promises and things like that. But it's the overhyped thing. I feel like it's the biggest part of it.
Well, but false promises are just that, and that goes well in line with false advertising investigation, and that's probably the meat of it. And I think that's probably the only thing that they can do to legally, catch them in this. But there's too many people out there, and it could just be mob mentality, but I believe there's too many people out there that do feel slighted by the game, and I wouldn't dismiss all of them, you know. So
I'm not. They can do whatever they want. I'm still gonna play the game. I still enjoy it. So
yeah,
that's how I feel.
but I still agree with my original assertion. I think they're being hit a little bit hard for this. And there are some good aspects of the game. And you know, what was the price, Brantley? What do you know? What did you pay? I guess
$60 regular.
$60. I mean,
AAA game
that's
price.
regular AAA game price.
But it's not from a AAA developer, and definitely not a AAA game. I will go to that.
If that's the case, then they overcharged for it as well for delivering very little. Maybe, honestly, Brantley, now that we're talking about all the details here, it's starting to sound like maybe they did do something wrong. But
again, either way, like I said, I enjoy the game. I'm not asking for my money back on it. I like it. So far, I've played it for 92 hours. So $1 per hour is not even. It's not. It's like 75% per hour, I think, is what I've paid for it. So if that gives you any clue.
be honest about what they are gonna provide. But anyway, I don't care. I don't play games. I don't have the time. So
Well, and that's my side of it. It's like it's a game that I enjoy, like taking a break from the world and just doing things and looking at new things, and it does give you nice, interesting perspectives. And maybe it's because I already like going out in the world and seeing nature and different times and things like that. But I don't know. Let's move on from it. This is that game that I was talking about. It's Xavier, not Xavier. There's a new Nintendo Wii game called Xavier, but Xavier was freaking awesome, man. Have you never played that game?
no, I'll take a look at it.
That
I
was
don't believe
by
that I have.
far
I think
my
I've heard of
favorite
it though. I think I've heard of it. Did you already talk about the home cleaning robot?
What?
The home cleaning robot.
But again,
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, it's just we were talking about how silly those Roombas and things are, right?
Oh, is this the one you could DIY?
Yeah. This is, but yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think this completely encapsulates what people feel about this. It's no more effective than literally strapping a duster to something that rolls around your house. I mean, so a dustbuster rather.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought that thing looked ridiculous. So, and I think the Roombas and things of that nature are ridiculous anyway.
Yeah, but we've mentioned that sentiment. I just thought that reinforced it pretty well. So. Cool. Move on. I'm sorry.
Oh, God, man, now I got that Xavier game sound effects stuck in my head. It's such an awesome 8-bit soundtrack. I highly recommend it. Still, highly.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got like a link or something.
I put the Wikipedia for the name of the game, but I believe you should have the ROM already.
Or maybe you remember the so those links. I'm about to find them for listening to
the old KeyGens,
8-bit soundtracks and stuff that I.
Yeah, the KeyGen generator, like where you could listen to a bunch of the KeyGen songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had talked about it about a year ago here. Yeah, KeyGen music. Nope, that's not it. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. KeyGenPlayer.com.
What about the DJ-Roomba? Eric points out.
I posted a link in there.
Oh, the music. I love KeyGen Player. I've listened to that for it's been years now, right?
No, it's been less than a year because we talked about it last year.
Wasn't it? But it's been out longer. No, really, was it that now? Okay.
Nope, we talked about it as soon as it came out because it was
Just to you.
freaking awesome. Because Nick and I would literally go out and download KeyGens just to listen to them at work. Like we would sit there and just play them. Like we didn't even need the key that it was generating. Like we didn't care at all about that. We were getting them just to play the music that they had behind it because they're that awesome. So highly recommend that if you want to have something to play in the background while you're working. Great site.
Doing it right now.
I thought this was pretty interesting. So Uber is going into the trucking business. I think they should do great with this if they do as well as they did with getting into the taxi business.
Haven't we talked about that before?
But
I do not remember it.
They purchased an I don't know if a truck maker or something that makes automated trucks.
Yeah, so we should have seen this coming then. Yeah.
Yeah, they bought up Auto's self-driving truck platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, the only thing about Uber is they've been hit with a ton of lawsuits, and I know some of them just based upon entrenched taxi stuff fighting them. But
where
some
I'm
of the
from
stuff, their concerns are legitimate.
I have a lot of people that I know that are truck drivers, and there's actually a client that I worked for that he was essentially the middleman between truck drivers and people that wanted to deliver their cargo. So essentially, he was making enough money to work at home all day and live in a nice big fancy house and have me come out and fix his computers just by sitting there and every morning getting up and saying, oh, this person needs to deliver this from here to here. This person's close by. Do you want to deliver this from here to here? All right, you're set, go. So he wasn't actually doing like any real work. He was just matching people up, and that is what I feel Uber is good at. So I feel like they'll do a very good job if they get into that industry at matching those places and people up easily.
Did you? I got a couple of links here.
Why you do that? Did you hear about the Commodore 64 that's still being used?
Yeah, 25 years later. Look at its condition, though. It's pretty horrible, by the way. But
that's actually like regular computers you would see in an auto shop. So.
Yeah, in an auto shop. Yeah. I guess that's kind of common for them.
The fact that it's still working, though, is what's really crazy.
So they, but they have it hooked up to a more modern piece of equipment, actually, to actually get the data, I believe. I think it was possibly added to it afterwards, or maybe not. Maybe that's all old too. But it's not just the Commodore 64 that does the work. Is I guess what I'm getting at. It's it just reads the signals from the actual thing that measures it and whatever.
Is there a space in NewEgg? I do not feel like there was.
No, there's not. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah. NewEgg.
Yeah, that's all one word. So talk about your link now.
So yeah, he apparently is they went up against some patent trolls and won. I thought that was a good story because everyone hates patent trolls, right? And all those stupid patents that we've talked about in the past, and I mentioned some things that Apple's done, and lots of others that we could probably all generally agree with. And then there's a whole organization that basically tries to publish prior art to invalidate patents. They want to put a complete end to it, and this goes right along with that. And I'm generally kind of in agreement with that. And he certainly has the legal background, to make it happen. So.
Beavis, that's exactly how I read it as well. I was like, NewEgg Chef, and I couldn't even get past that part. I was like, what is a new egg? What? Huh? Like, I didn't even get to the
that was a bad one.
BS part, but
my apologies.
I was just like, NewEgg Chef, what? It's NewEgg Chief.
And one more thing. The switchover, that's going to happen.
For the internet?
Yeah. DNS switchover, right?
Okay. What about that?
That's a good article, kind of putting into perspective and how that even some people basically believe that we're going to completely, there's no U.S. involvement and, and that, the internet's going to basically go to crap, by doing this. There's a lot of arguments, a lot of candidates are positioning themselves for or against doing this type of thing to get votes, to get voters' attention, and I think it's important to understand it in detail. And ours, as usual, does a real good job of explaining those details and why it's not.
Just unfortunate that it's not a requirement for those politicians and voters to understand
to
it.
Read, yeah.
Their
God,
position
so
and things. Michael, I can't believe you didn't talk about this article yet. That's why I was giving you time to come up with. But you're a Verizon customer, so I would assume that you.
Oh, I saw it. I already read
jumped
it.
all over that. A technician has been has admitted he stole customer data for years and sold it to private investigators.
But the money, he got nothing for this.
Verizon.
I was surprised at how little he was paid in this from the investigators. It started out as something like $50 a month or $70 a month, and eventually got up to like $700. But
he ended up with $10,000 off of it. So,
but off of years of doing it.
Yeah, it was $50 per month, or about $25 per record. Yeah, he had saved up $10,000 off of it.
I mean,
now he's facing up to 5 years in prison or a $250,000 fine for federal hacking charge.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have $250,000 lying around if he was doing what he was doing. But anyway.
Part of the plea deal is he confessed that he sold the data to an unnamed private investigator. Interesting. But yeah, that kind of relates back to, wasn't it yesterday we were talking about the people in power, or people that have access? Like, yeah, we were
Yes,
talking about the police officers and abusing their access, but that kind of thing is what I'm talking about. It's like, if you give someone that kind of access, it's going to get abused by someone. Like, it's just human nature. It's not oh, these police officers are terrible. It's no, you give anyone that kind of access to information, it's going to get abused somehow, some way. So, Nick, isn't Wyatt about 10 now? So they got a
he'll be 8.
It's close enough. He's I guess the big thing is he'll still be able to fit into these. But they got some pretty cool costumes coming out for it. Yeah, Joe Chamberlain, Stanford experiment. Well, the thing in this article was that even if you're not 10, you'd probably still want to get one of these. They're cool jackets, and they make you superheroes with the jackets. It's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. Those are pretty awesome jackets. I like the
Batman.
Batman.
Do they have them in adult sizes?
They show a picture at the bottom of that has Marvel and DC themed winter gear for adults.
Okay.
But the designs are a little bit more toned down. So the kid ones are a little bit more fun, is what they're saying in that.
I want the Hulk. That's pretty plain. It's just like a green jacket with some fists.
Yeah.
That's kind of lame, actually.
That's what I was saying. I think the Batman one is probably cool, is because it's got the ninja side arm claw things.
Well, Captain America come with a shield, I guess. I like that.
I'm wondering if those do come with that stuff, because like that, those Hulk hands are kind of
Yeah, we already got Hulk hands.
yeah, those are
Green
already.
I think we got a green jacket, in fact.
Congratulations! Here's your green jacket. You're now the Hulk. I know, we've seen other kids wearing ones that have lines on them, but we'll paint a six-pack on you, no problem, buddy. Still, I thought those were cool. Definitely interesting, especially for the holiday season coming up. Boss mad.
Dang it.
That would be fun. Like, majority of the time when he's talking to Michael, he would just be like, hold on a second. Let me put my jacket on.
Yep.
No, it doesn't include the hands.
It does include the hands?
Does not.
Does not. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Figures.
Same thing probably with the shield and other things like that.
And the little things on the arm, well, they probably come with it, but
Yeah, the ones on the Batman one I think would.
so lame.
Still, it's a cool design. Haven't seen that before in a jacket, so I thought it was cool. So moving on here, and actually it looks like we're about to have time to wrap up here. Oh, we should go ahead and mention this out as a public service. Do you have a Samsung Note 7? Well, you're pretty much aware that you shouldn't have bought a Samsung washing machine then, huh? Because apparently U.S. regulators are now warning that Samsung washing machines are exploding as well while they're doing
Did we talk about this yesterday?
We didn't talk about it on the show. It came out right after the show.
Okay.
It's crazy. I actually have I think I considered a Samsung at one point for some reason.
Washer?
And I ended up going with LG.
Well, I'm glad you're safe then. I did have a couple other links, but I wanted to share this link that YouTube posted in my face today. It's from our friend Glenn, and it's a little bit older one, but you'll see Glenn in our chat quite a few times here. But it's a transformer basically freaking exploding, and he got most of it on film, and it really looks like fireworks going off on a telephone pole. It's pretty impressive and crazy. So I thought that was an interesting video, though. Shouts out to Glenn for that.
Right.
You get to hear Glenn too, and his Australian accent. I'm not sure who the Australian woman that you hear as well is, but
maybe he's not either.
That's possible. But all right, that wraps up our hour for today. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back on tomorrow for our Friday show at 6 p.m. And again, we are here mainly to provide support and answer any questions about our products and services. Thanks, Joe and Gregory S. for asking those questions. We will be more than happy to answer those tomorrow on our video chat then. Otherwise, you can always feel free to contact our support by any of the various methods we have available, and we'll be more than happy to help you there as well. And thanks everyone for watching. Take us out, number one.